Hello and welcome to News 9 Show, the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanan. As usual, I shall bring to you 9 top stories from the south of India. Let me now begin with the first one, coming up on your screens right now. Udhayanidhi Stalin set to take over as the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Official announcement likely to be made soon. That's the first story. DMK sun rises, the sun being, the symbol of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. So there you have it. And also his name, Udaya, means the sun rises. So the sun is all set to rise in Tamil Nadu's political horizon. The decks are being cleared to elevate Tamil Nadu Youth Welfare and Sports Development Minister and the son of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, Udhayanidhi Stalin, as the state's Deputy Chief Minister. Even as an official statement is awaited, the two reasons which have propelled this move are the recent episodes of terrible violence witnessed in the state, particularly the public hacking of BSP leader K. Armstrong and of course the NTK functionary Balasubramanian in Madurai, indicating that M.K. Stalin is hemmed in from all sides and requires some ease before his scheduled departure to the US in August. I am nobody to actually sit on judgment on his health. I am sure that he is healthy, but it seems like he is not able to manage. The second reason is of course the DMK's recent win in the Vikravandi by-election last week. It was a fabulous win. Once again, driving the message to the cadres that all was not just well, but very well within the DMK. Even as the same rumours had swirled last November, the plan to elevate Udhayanidhi was put on hold as the Lok Sabha elections were on the anvil and the party wanted to go to elections with no major changes. But that seemed to have changed now, with the factor of actor Vijay and his party, Tamiliga Vetri Kazhagam, all set to fight the 2026 assembly elections. Let's talk about what this means not only for the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, but also, the governance of the state, the administration of the state, which actually seems to be crying out for help. Let me now go across to the guest. Dr. P. Pullarao, political analyst, has joined us. We are also awaiting the other guest, that is S. Venkat Narayan sir, who will be joining us. Dr. Pullarao, what do you think? Because last November there was a rumor and now again the rumors is strong. Apparently it was Sabarisan, that is M.K. Stalin's son-in-law's birthday, and on that day when some ministers approached him and said that they also want to be accommodated, he said wait, soon there will be a change. What do you think will happen? Do you think the time has come for M.K. Stalin to give on the kind of burden that he is under to Udaya?
See, there is nothing unusual. Udaya is in no way less qualified or more qualified than Uddhav Thackeray or Sukhbir Badal or Chandrababu Naidu's son or anybody else. These are regional parties and they have their rights. And the constitution allows it. And Udhayanidhi Stalin has been in politics for some time. And the line of succession is very clear. There is no challenger to Stalin and the DMK. And therefore, perhaps in the natural sequence of things, this may be the next step for Udhayanidhi Stalin, who gets father also was deputy chief minister under his grandfather. Yeah. I hope you recollect that.
Yes, I do, sir.
And, you do that. So
yes,
therefore, this is very natural. There is no threat at all from the opposition in Tamil Nadu. So why not? If there was a huge threat and there was lots of problems, then there would be some kind of tension. But there is no tension of any kind.
Right.
And therefore, it is very natural.
But S. Venkat Narayan sir has also joined us. Pullarao sir is saying, Venkat sir, that why not? After all, it's he's as capable, if not more or less. But what I think is that M.K. Stalin, I think, got the deputy chief ministership. I could be wrong. You both are very senior, correct me. When he was in his 50s, I think, if I am not wrong. Not that 46 is far away from the 50s, sir. But do you think that, Stalin, who had gone to jail during emergency, was hurt very badly, had sustained lathi charge, etc., and grew up in that atmosphere with Kalaignar, Karunanidhi, learning the ropes. Do you think Udhayanidhi Stalin will be able to kind of take on the reins, Venkat sir?
Sudha, actually, Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin was 56 when his father made him the deputy chief minister. Karunanidhi family, Alagiri, MK Stalin, then, Udhayanidhi, Kanimozhi, the whole family, is full of politicians. And incidentally, this gentleman, Udhayanidhi, is now 46 years old. He tried his luck in the movies. He worked in 14 films in course of 11 years, beginning with 2012. And he even managed to win a Filmfare Award for the best male debut actor. And he worked with, a lot of people. And in 2023, he stopped acting in movies. And he was quite active in campaigning in the 21 assembly elections. And I think he is very impatiently waiting to become the deputy chief minister.
Yes.
And before his father goes off to the US on the 22nd of August, there is expected to be a cabinet reshuffle, and Udhayanidhi apparently is likely to get into the cabinet.
But the times, but Venkat sir, the times are different now. Lot of water has flown under the Palar or any other river that we want to talk about. All I'm saying is that this man had tried, even Stalin had tried his luck in the movies. I've seen some of his early movies and he was really bad. The thing is that, he started, but then he exited very quickly, was clever enough to do that. But this gentleman, Udhayanidhi Stalin, he gave himself the longest rope in cinema. Of course, he's a producer, his wife is also involved in it. But all I'm saying is that now the DMK is very different from the DMK of the past, and that could be a challenge, don't you think? The times have changed, Venkat sir.
Indeed, so the times have changed. The ADMK is already, began attacking this whole business of DMK becoming a dynastic political party, operating in a democracy and so on. But I don't know, in the whole South Asia, Sudha, you have the Bhuttos in Pakistan. Chandrika succeeded her mother and father in Sri Lanka. Sheikh Hasina succeeded her father, the Mujib, and here you had Nehru being succeeded by his daughter, and Indira Gandhi being succeeded by her son. And now people are talking about the possibility of Rahul taking on the mantle if his party gets a decent number of seats in the next election. So I don't know whether this is a curse or a blessing. In South Asia, you have so many political families. In our own country, you have Lalu's son, and you have Mulayam Singh Yadav's son, Uddhav Thackeray's son, you name it. I don't know whether this is a good thing or bad thing, but the bottom line is, there it is, Sudha. Just like a doctor's son becomes a doctor, a lawyer's son becomes a lawyer. It seems the political families seem to be grooming these guys. But Udhayanidhi said something nasty about the Hinduism being, Sanatana Dharma being...
Dharma, yes, that's right.
And the Supreme Court pulled him up. I say, you are a minister and you ought to know the consequences of what you utter. And, things like that. He's a controversial
but my problem is that, dynastic politics, like you said, it's another conversation whether it's good or bad. But the DMK is now, firmly in under the grip of this Muka Stalin family. But where is Kanimozhi? That's the question I'm going to ask after I take the break, and I shall go to Dr. Pullarao for an answer.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
This is News 9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News 9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
All right, this is what we are discussing. DMK's sun rises. We're speaking about Udhayanidhi Stalin's elevation as Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu within a couple of weeks when the official announcement will be made. Will he be able to actually take on the reins from his father, M.K. Stalin? What about the others who are also part of this government and the party? And I'm going to talk about his aunt, Kanimozhi, Karunanidhi, Dr. P. Pullarao. Here is a lady who is more mature. She's done very well for herself. She's also an integral part of the family, and look at the hypocrisy. Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam speaks about Samutavam, that is equality, talks about no gender bias whatsoever, does not believe in organized religion, but all that is such a hypocritical mask that they wear. What happens to Kanimozhi, Karunanidhi? Is it a given that only a male sign will take over the reins from M.K. Stalin?
Hardly. I think we should look at her situation. She's very comfortable, very happy. She's 57 years old. She's leader of the DMK parliamentary party. She likes to be in Delhi. She likes to rub shoulders with the national leaders. She likes to represent the DMK. And she knows her limits also. She's not going to be accepted there. You know, amongst all families and cousins.
No, but why? Dr. Pullarao, I want to understand why will she not be accepted? Tamil Nadu has had a woman chief minister after all.
No, sure, Tamil Nadu has had a woman chief minister, but there have been no other women leaders in Tamil Nadu. Let me ask you one simple question. Other than Jayalalitha, I can't think of any leader who has come up in Tamil Nadu, women leader. Nobody has come up. Jayalalitha never fostered anyone. Jayalalitha never let a woman come near her.
Shashikala Natarajan, sir?
Shashikala Natarajan was a side who enjoyed that role.
Who's again trying to make a comeback. No, there are also leaders, and I'm forgetting their name, from the Communist Party. Now, let's not go there. Like, for instance, even in the BJP, you have Tamilisai Soundararajan, you have Vanati Srinivasan, there are other leaders. But today we are discussing the DMK. Why? Because it wears a badge that we don't believe in any gender bias. I think, Dr. Pullarao, that the DMK, with the kind of governance, no, sir, recently we've seen complete breakdown of law and order. There is gundaism, there is public hacking of leaders, there is everything. I mean, it's crumbled, sir. There are no two ways about it.
I'll answer two issues you have raised.
Okay, sir.
First of all, we're going through dynasties and bloodlines. She's not in that bloodline, Kanimozhi. On the one hand, you can't talk about dynasties, legitimization of dynasties, and I say now everybody is there. Everybody in the dynasty is getting their due. And therefore, she's not in that bloodline. Don't forget that.
How? Her father is Karunanidhi. Well, you know, that's
father
another.
Is Karunanidhi.
Yeah, that's another. Then she should know, no, sir. that way, you know, then there is Aragiri, then, I mean, I don't think that a lot of people know that Karunanidhi had 3 wives. I mean, so let's not get into that. No, a child is a child, and even if, no, I'm sorry, sir, and that's a very patriarchal kind of a gaze, that even if I'm an adopted child of my father and I'm not the bloodline, I think I should be given equal chance, even if I am a woman, sir. I'll come back to you. Doctor sir, I'll come back to you. Mr. Venkat Narayan is also waiting. Mr. Venkat Narayan, my whole issue is about, you know, governance, about administration. You know, the way Tamil Nadu, you know, they had a fabulous victory, sir. I covered the elections and I thought that they deserve it because, you know, AIA DMK was in a shambles as we saw it, and this particular party, Stalin worked really hard. And of course, Udhayanidhi won from Chepak, you know, and he also approved himself. But if you look at it, sir, I mean, particularly these 2-3 months have been very, very hard. And the rumors that Stalin is not able to handle, and like I said in the show, I will never comment on someone's health. Who am I? I'm sure he will get well. But I am saying the capability to administer seems to be difficult day in and day out. There is apparently a second line, Sabarisan, then, you know, other Minister of Education. There are other also ministers who are apparently, they all have a firm grip on the workings of the party. Do you think Udhayanidhi Stalin will be able to meander his way through so many labyrinths, sir? That's my question.
Sudha, the way things operate in our country is that a king's successor will be his son, and, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, I share your feelings about equality of men and women. And Kanimozhi, if you remember, Jayalalitha herself was a member of the Rajya Sabha. She was exposed to how things work in Delhi, and she spoke English, whereas Mr. Stalin cannot speak English. It's very, very important that somebody like Kanimozhi, who knows, she might get a chance. If something happens, something goes wrong, she might still make it as chief minister. One doesn't know what the future holds.
Exactly.
And, you know, I have an open mind on the subject, and she's very articulate. I have listened to some of her speeches in the Lok Sabha.
Yes.
She speaks good English, and exposure at the national level, you get to know all other leaders of other parties and all that. That is a good thing. Maybe unconsciously or consciously, she's being groomed for an important role, and she represents the DMK in Delhi, in spite of the fact that you have T.R. Balu, you have Maran, A. Raja, and all these guys. So who knows? Let us see. And I want to make another point. Look what Jagan Mohan Reddy did to his mother Vijaya and sister Sharmila after he became the chief minister. He completely ignored them, and Sharmila was forced to start her own party. It flopped, and she went to join the Congress. She fought the election, she lost. There is no comparison really. I'm just making the point that just because Kanimozhi is not the chief minister or not being made the prime minister, deputy chief minister at this point of time, it doesn't mean that she has no future at the state level politics in Tamil Nadu, Sudha.
But it will be, but the message I'm getting from both of you, S. Venkat Narayan sir and Dr. P. Pullarao sir, is that, but it's going to be Udhayanidhi, come what may. I'm going to take a break right now, gentlemen. But when I come back, we will once again debate on this story about what are the kind of challenges that Udhayanidhi will have to face. That's after a break. Stay with us.
$20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी 9। आजादी पैसे की। अभी डाउनलोड करें।
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
All right, that's our main story. DMK sun rises, as in a couple of weeks, there is news that, Udhayanidhi Stalin, Muka Stalin's son, and also a minister in his own right, could be made the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. So things will change in Tamil Nadu. S. Venkat Narayan sir, senior journalist, is with us, and so is Dr. P. Pullarao sir, who's a political analyst. Dr. Pullarao, tell me something that, what are the kind of challenges do you think Udhayanidhi Stalin will have to face, considering 2026 is on the anvil, and also the news is that maybe he's being elevated to face Vijay, the actor turned politician, because Vijay has a large following amongst the youth.
Well, I think Udhayanidhi Stalin is kind of in a learning curve, learning process. His father is there, his father is going to handle it. More than anything else, there's a vast machine. The DMK is a very big machine. It has come to power in 67, and Karnataka, I think, took over in 73 or so. After Anadari's death, 69, he took over. And it has been in this control. Like the Akali Dals have slipped into the Badal's hands. The vast establishment, the buildings, the offices, the memory, the institutions, the institutional memory, all of it is with Stalin. It is an automatic machine. It is not that Stalin gets up in the morning and says, do this, do that. It goes on working. And there are people like Dure Murugan who are there 10 terms. I believe he's 84 years old and he's still active. There are people like him who worked with Karnataka, who worked with Anaduri. There are 50 of them. And their children are there, they are not there. So it is on autopilot. DMK is on autopilot. And there is no challenge for the simple reason the opposition is divided. It looks hopelessly divided, and they like it. The more divided it is, the easier. There's no challenge. And you know what happens when the opposition is divided? The people who are sitting on the fence or the disgruntled elements, they keep quiet. And so I don't see any challenge other than the routine administration. Keep us work together.
Yeah, this is a fact. Yeah, it's a fact, Dr. Pullarao, that, there is not going to be a major kind of a rebellion against Udhayanidhi, because Udhayanidhi, like you said, is cushioned very well, particularly by the current Chief Minister Stalin, and also like Durai Murugan, the MP from Ranipet, if I am not wrong, 10th term, very, very, someone who's very, very well versed and died in the wool politician, and also other people. But still, do you think that it's the same party that Stalin inherited when he came to power, 3 years ago?
No, it is the same party for the simple reason. Stalin is going on with the same alliance. He's got 10 or 12 parties. Some of them don't even have MLAs. And it's going on. And the most interesting formula is, in the whole country, coalition partners demand ministerships in the state, but not in Tamil Nadu. They brought a principle, NTR and this whole DMK, that yes, we'll give you seats, we'll be alliance partners, but there will be no ministers from your party in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
The Congress could have very well demanded, they couldn't. There are no roots.
Okay.
The same thing is going on there.
Okay.
Therefore, things are very much the same.
Right. But I'm going to play the devil's advocate, Mr. Venkat Narayan, if I can have you on the screen, is that in Tamil Nadu, it is very well known that, they vote out a party and bring the other one in. We've seen it with AIDMK out, DMK in next time. The thing is that there is a kind of a groundswell, there is a kind of an atmosphere which is created, and, for its own reasons. The point is that the rise of the BJP, which their vote share has increased, although they may not have got so many votes. Their vote share has increased, I think, at least twice or thrice over in Tamil Nadu this time. What do you think? Is it risky? Do you think it will be risky if you bring Udhayanidhi Stalin and there is a tectonic shift and, it becomes a very, very difficult ball game in 2026 with actor Vijay with Edappadi Palaniswamy and the BJP on the other side, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Sudha. It is going to be a challenge. I think that's why one of the reasons this talk of Udhayanidhi being made the Deputy Chief Minister is that he himself asked for that, because at 46, he wants to, get into the act of being the Deputy Chief Minister. And when his father, we don't know, MK Stalin is 71 now. He's going to America on the 22nd of August. I don't know what his health problem is. And there is talk of Udhayanidhi being groomed
Yes.
to succeed him in 2026 if the DMK comes to power.
Right.
So, we have this history of Rajiv Gandhi becoming the Prime Minister at the age of 40. And poor MK Stalin had to wait till he was 56 to get into the cabinet, because his father did not want anybody from his family to be active in politics so long as he is alive.
Right.
So maybe Udhayanidhi, but you asked a question earlier that went unanswered. Udhayanidhi will face a serious problem about this land order, which was under his father.
Yes.
And, a lot of killings took place, people being hacked
Right.
to death and this kind of thing. It's terrible. And anti-Dalit, this thing, and people...
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Yeah, I also agree with you, Venkat sir. It's not going to be easy for this man when he takes the reins or he takes the power, because he lacks the charisma totally of Kalangir. Whatever Kalangir's politics were, he also lacks the experience of his father MK Stalin. But then he's the scion and he is the next in line. So who knows, Udhayanidhi Stalin, when he takes over, we'll have to wait and watch. But this ain't going to be easy for him. I've completely run out of time. My thanks are due to Venkat Narayan sir. Thank you so much for joining us, and also Dr. Pullarao sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And coming up next on the South Indian is that the police widens its scope of investigation. Rather than net in the Armstrong murder case, several political functionaries are now under the scanner in Tamil Nadu.
When we talk about India, unfortunately the country has the highest burden of road crash fatalities.
तो लगभग 76% लोग pedestrians और two-wheeler वाले हैं जिनकी डेथ हुई है. While the highways are getting better in India, the local roads, the city roads, the town roads, these need to be improved.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
That's our next story. Armstrong murder, political parties under the scanner. So this is a new angle. I mean, since this news broke, different angles have been put to see it through the prism of several perspectives. If the public killing of BSP leader K. Armstrong in full public view on 5th July pointed several fingers at the crumbling law and order situation in Tamil Nadu, the most important part of that argument was also the way the state police flopped over the issue. Of course, there were transfer of top police officials, but more important than that was the manner in which a plethora of reasons was given out for the killing of Armstrong, which completely defies logic. In the latest, the Chennai police are probing a network of high-profile history cheaters and their ties to the murder of Armstrong. As is well known, so far 14 people have been arrested in the case, while one called Thiruvengadam was killed in a police encounter on Sunday, which raised several eyebrows. So far as the political rivalry or involvement angle is concerned, on 17th of July, the police picked up Advocate Malarkodi, an AIADMK functionary from Triplicane. Malarkodi has a controversial life as her husband was a history sheeter who was murdered in 1997 and her son was also involved in a revenge murder. Malarkodi, of course, has been suspended from the AIADMK. Next on the scanner of the police is a BJP functionary, M. Anjali, who's 48 years old. She belongs to North Chennai. Allegedly, she was the partner of Arcot Suresh, who is said to be the reason for the revenge murder of Armstrong. Also, D. Selvaraj, yet another BJP functionary in Tiruvallur, was also arrested soon after the murder. Even as one shall await the investigation to come to some kind of a conclusion, it seems like the Chennai police is shooting in all directions. You never know where they will get a target. To speak on this, G.S. Mani, advocate of Supreme Court and Madras High Court, and S. Ramanathan, former ADGP, Tamil Nadu, who is joining us on the phone line. A very warm welcome to both of you. Vanakkam. Mr. Mani, let me first come to you. Mr. Mani, don't you think that this is getting very confusing? You know, look at this one grab from AIDMK. Initially, they said, no, this is a rivalry between two gangs. So, everyone jumped to the conclusion of Arcot, Suresh. He was killed, so therefore, Armstrong was killed. Then they said, no, there seems to be more than what meets the eye. Thiruvengadam is shot in an extrajudicial killing. Now they are saying, no, it has got some political legs also. So, one AIDMK functionary, then one BJP arrested, and they are still on the lookout of one BJP. So, what is this? This seems to be like a whirlpool, sir. What is going on?
Vanakkam, madam.
Vanakkam.
Yes. You see, this murder completely indicate that how this political supports the gangsters. See, they have no political party. They have no nothing. They choose political party to support their crime. That's all. But without a high-level, highly influential person, this gang cannot commit this brutal murder against a national, political and Dalit leader.
Right.
There is a political support.
Okay.
Some highly influential person is behind this murder.
Okay.
Simply arresting who involved, who funded, who is behind this? From the beginning, I am asking through your channel, who is behind this brutal murder?
So, Mr. Mani, let me ask you, Mr. Mani, let me ask you a leading question on that. That, when they said that 11 people have, now surrendered, everyone said these are just, these are just phony faces, fake faces, poli, as we say in Tamil. There is really no strength to these faces. There is someone much more powerful behind this. The police immediately released a video to say these are the people, Balu, so and so, Thiruvengadam, etc., etc. Do you still think, Mr. Mani, that these people who surrendered are really not the people? They must have carried out the murder, but there is some very powerful political member, party chief rather, who is behind the murder, sir.
No, I am not claiming that. The persons involved in this murder published the CCTV footage. They are not really involved. I am not claiming that. They have been used for this brutal murder, I can say.
Okay.
How many people are behind this? How many influential persons are there? That is what I am asking. It is not easy to get some political powerful leader to be murdered brutally.
Yeah, okay.
Without any political or very highly influential support.
Right.
The political party.
So there are, so you are saying there are wheels within wheels, and that's what I am going to ask Mr. S. Ramanathan. Mr. Ramanathan, welcome to the show, sir. Look at this. In the latest, what I am trying to understand, and considering you are a very experienced policeman, is that someone from AIDMK has been arrested who had links with, who's got a very, let's say, she's a history sheeter. Why am I mincing words? Then there is another lady apparently who allegedly paid money to one of the alleged accused in the murder. Then there is someone else who belongs to the BJP. So there is AIADMK and there is BJP. There are lots of political legs in this. Of course, the only party that has not come to the forefront is the DMK. So I am asking you, Mr. Ramanathan, how do you read this? Is it that these criminals had political kind of connections, or you read more into this, Mr. Ramanathan?
Good evening to you all. I couldn't follow Mr. Mani's lesson, but that was not very clear as your voice is. But yet I am able to understand what he was telling. Yes, the point is absolutely there is no political overtone or political involvement in this murder. The people who have been named as political members are most insignificant, maybe a member of that party. That has nothing to do with the political party also, any political party for that matter. But with regard to the unearthing of all the, or arresting more, going for more arrests of rowdy elements is, it seems that the CM is very particular to bring out, to unearth all the rowdy elements or the break down the network of those gangs. Probably on those instructions, the investigating machinery is now on the...
Mr. Ramanathan,
yes, no,
Mr. Ramanathan, wait a minute, sir. Let me ask you one question. You said that they are insignificant, okay? But the point is, then how come, I beg your pardon, Malarkodi has been suspended from the IIDMK, sir? If she was so insignificant, the party said very, very clearly, suspend her, we don't need her.
Say, I make it a point. When the press has reported that so-and-so belongs to a particular party, and when that particular member is a member of that party has suspended her from its party. That doesn't mean that she has got a great role in the political making of that particular party. She might have been a member in the party. That doesn't mean that this has got a political...
I do not know why you are saying, Mr. Ramanathan, that there is no political angle to this story, because the people who've been arrested, 2 people, they both belong to political parties. So therefore, how does a police recognize someone? If I work for, let's say, XYZ school, you will say Sudha was a teacher in that school. You can't say that she was a junior teacher or senior teacher. All I am saying is that there is a political angle to this. Let's not deny that, sir. It is there in the newspapers. Mr. Mani, I want to come to you. Do you want to comment on what Mr. Ramanathan said, and then maybe I'll ask you the next question, sir? He says no political angle at all.
I totally disagree with this.
Okay.
I totally disagree with Mr. Ramanathan. I am saying without the political support, a highly influential person or persons support, this type of brutal murder, especially against a Dalit leader, is impossible. That is what I am saying. The state machinery, the investigating agency is duty bound to bring the real culprit who behind this murder.
Yeah, but GS Mani sir, all the papers, some of the papers have also reported so and so was arrested, AIDMK, BJP, etc. But they are also saying there was some money, financial transactions which went wrong. I think somewhere we are being misled. You ask me to walk in a path, suddenly you give me another, I take a left. Then you say, no, it's actually the right. Then you take a... I just feel that somewhere someone is trying to confuse the people insofar as Armstrong's murder is concerned, GS Mani.
See, all these persons, either directly or indirectly involved in this murder, are having their rivalry. There is no doubt at all. There is no doubt at all. Whether it is a murder, revenge or avenge, this is there. But what I am saying, this is not easy. All these rivalry people getting together and planning to murder.
Right. Yeah.
It is not at all possible for intelligence agency, the state intelligence. They claim the state government is claiming that their intelligence is totally failed.
Yeah.
They don't know whether this brutal murder is going to happen or not.
Right. Okay.
Especially political leaders.
So
when all criminals, history sheeters are getting together, planning, huge money has been transferred. Political parties, they are involved. They are member of the political parties because the criminals, habitual offenders, gangsters have no political party.
So let me ask the cop. So let me ask the cop here. Right, Mr. Mani, I have heard you. I have understood what you are saying, sir. Mr. Ramanathan, without the connivance of someone big out there behind the curtain, first of all, there is intelligence failure. Mr. G.S. Mani said it, he is not the first one to say it. Apparently, there was intelligence that Armstrong may be hurt, may be attacked. Anyway, he is dead now, what is the point? But there was intelligence failure, and according to Mr. Mani, unless someone big out there was conniving, was conspiring, it is nearly next to impossible. This is not a kind of a locality hacking or knifing someone. It is about a very big leader, and that too a Dalit leader, and that too in a state like Tamil Nadu. Mr. Ramanathan, what's your comment on that?
See, I make it clear. I make it very clear that the murder. Hello. Are you hearing me? Okay. Hello.
Go on.
Hello. Yeah. No, this murder is not between two different causes. As I understand, he has been murdered, or the murder has taken place in the same caste. The accused are also said to be the same caste. But I don't know the details more than that. But the point is, it is a rowdyism, it is a rivalry in between two gangs. Now, among 2-3 gangs, there is a leak, one after another. The police is now bringing out the entire network behind it. Regarding the political involvement, all other things, money transaction must have been there, certainly there. The gang operation is done by some other big people.
I've completely run out of time. Yes, I'm so sorry, Mr. Ramanathan, but I've completely run out of time. But even when you say, sir, and such a senior police officer, that it is gang rivalry, what does it prove? That the law and order situation in Tamil Nadu really needs to improve. And on that note, G.S. Mani sir, thank you so much for joining us, and Mr. S. Ramanathan, thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast. Let's wait for the investigation to get over, and we shall know who killed K. Armstrong on 5th of July. Coming up next, airlines and stock market operations impacted as global outage hits Microsoft. That's what we're going to talk about, global IT outage, and it involves all of us. From stock markets to airlines, several business operations were disrupted as a major IT outage hit Microsoft platforms across the globe. The outage was reported as millions of Microsoft users across the globe experienced the blue screen of death error on their screens, causing the system to suddenly shut down or restart. Microsoft, in a statement, said that its outage started with a subset of its customers experiencing issues like multiple Azure services in the central US region. Azure is a cloud computing platform that provides services for building, deploying, and managing applications and services. Microsoft, in its message, said that the error was caused due to a recent CrowdStrike update. Due to the error, flight operations were impacted across the world. In India, airlines such as Air India, Vistara, SpiceJet, Indigo, and Akasa reported disruptions in their flight operations. Even the National Stock Exchange, or NSE, and the Bombay Stock Exchange, or BSE, were impacted due to the outage. On the global level, at least 3 major US airlines, American, United, and Delta, grounded all their flights. In Australia, Sydney Airport also witnessed several passengers left stranded while flights were delayed due to the outage. Even though there were speculations of a cyber attack, it has been denied by cybersecurity agencies of various nations. CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz said in a post on X, and I quote, "This is not a security incident or cyber attack. The issue has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed." As promised, I leave you with some of the other top headlines from the south of India. And before I finally leave you, this is a gentle reminder. My colleague Kartikeya Sharma interviewed Dr. Bimal Oikajam, Congress MP from Inner Manipur, on the Manipur violence. You can tune in into the full interview at 7:30 p.m. tonight, only on News 9 Live. And here's this.
In hindsight, why has Manipur as a state and the government in Manipur failed to control the violence?
You know, my suspicion is that there is no proper functioning of the constitutional scheme of things. Right from the day one, the state government's autonomy seems to have been subverted by placing a security advisor who took charge of the very important arrangement called Unified Headquarters to coordinate different security forces, the central police organizations, the paramilitary forces, the regular army, as well as the state police forces, you know. So that is the kind of arrangement that we have called Unified Headquarters, which is commonly referred to as Unified Command, which takes care of, according to its mandate, law and order and security scenario in the state. And that chairman was taken over by this gentleman called Kuldeep. And now that the cabinet minister of Manipur, which we knew right from the day one, but now there is a, you can call it a confession by a cabinet minister in the state government, who says that we appointed him, center has appointed him. But the problem is that it was done through, not through de jure form. It was a de facto imposition of the will of the union government, because the order was issued by the state government through the governor, his appointment. So we don't know who is in charge of it. So before I decided to join politics or electoral politics, I have been saying in many of my interviews, I said, who is in charge of Manipur? Is it the union government or the state government? Even I have called it the state government is a proxy. Is a
so are you saying proxy, that Biren Singh is not?
So what I'm saying is that, but the interesting part, or the saddest part in the other side, is the chief minister has been a willing partner to this subversion of the federal structure. He should have stood up by saying that law and order is a state subject and I should take the call here. He didn't do it. That's why you can see many examples. He ordered something, the Assam Rifle didn't follow. He ordered something, CRPF didn't follow something. You know, the police is not completely under his command, it seems, because whatever happens in the Churachampur area, I doubt whether it is completely under his control. So he has been subverted. But he is part of the subversion of the constitutional mechanism. I think he is protecting, in some sense, Mr. Modi and Amit Shah. If you remove this facade, state government, in the last 1 year, you know, what would have happened is the entire responsibility would have come to the central government, and then before the election, there would have been, I suppose, on hindsight, would have been bad for the BJP, you know, because the Modi ji and Amit Shah ji would be. So I think Biren Singh become a very convenient scapegoat, and he was a convenient and I think tool. And unfortunately, instead of standing up for his state and autonomy of the state, he was an obedient, if subservient is too strong an expression in the whole game. I think that's the thing, what we've seen it.
Who am I?
Nobody can crack that mystery.
There is a certain expectation of me.
That's the only contradiction.
Life itself is stranger than fiction.
I was a perfectly normal person born in an abnormal world.
I really didn't understand why is it different.
Just imagine a child who is bullied every day.
Boys school में कुछ लड़का लोग मेरे साथ sexual abuse किए.
मुझे तेरे बारे में सब पता है. और मैं तेरा रेप कर लूँगा.
You also start to stigmatize.
अरे ये तो time pass है.
Sex doesn't come in the picture. Sex comes later.